At times, we all feel lost and in search of something more. This is Christina Dan, and this is Liberate the Podcast, a podcast designed to help inspire and guide you forward through everything spirituality, creativity, art, and just giving you a sense of empowerment so that you can be powerful, be magical, and be free. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Liberate the Podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about using numerology to find balance in your life and what is the purpose of life. I mean, these are kind of huge questions. And to answer them, we have our guest today, Krishna Camargo. And he is an author, a lecturer, a naturopath. He's also a minister. He does a lot of stuff, but he specializes in numerology. We're going to dive into that and see where it goes. So welcome, Krishna.
Well, thank you. I'm very happy to be part of it. And I was at Liberate a few weeks ago, and I saw the place and the environment is amazing. And now I'm really glad that we can have this opportunity to talk about different topics, like you say.
And big topics. I mean, balance in life and the purpose of life. I mean, these are huge things. So let's get right into them.
Yeah, well, like you say, I mean, there's always been questions about our life and where are we going to be in the next step, or where is the path that we're coming from. And, you know, like usually these ideas, we can like release a lot of information about it. And there's like religion and spiritual paths and other organizations that brings a lot of information about. But the main purpose of life is to find yourself. It doesn't matter if you're doing something special or if you're not, or if you're traveling or married or getting some job or whatever. But the inner self is looking always to feel that connection with the universe. And we sometimes try to explain a lot of things, a lot of situations with our thoughts and our mind. And really the goal, the final goal would be just to release the mind and just to be. And when you are connecting with that energy, you start to feel more in tune with everything. So numerology, as astrology or other topics can help you to at least realize what are the tools that your body has in this world, in this transition, and that you can use for getting along better with everything that is going around, and just to feel more relaxed in this transition, in this final step of just liberating.
I love that. And the simplicity of finding yourself, because I mean, I think that's in every great teacher and every, you know, even the people that share their life wisdom at the end of their life. And they say, you know, the whole journey was just to get back to where they were. You know, it's like you go on these, you know, like the alchemist or these other like journeys. It's like you can travel all this ways just to get right back to where you were.
Exactly. It's an interesting situation, because usually we're looking for a lot of things outside. You know, we want to share things with people. We want to travel. We want to earn money and, you know, like fulfill our needs. And at the end, when we do that, we just go back and realize that all of that is just a path that you are traveling, what we are traveling, and then we get along with a lot of experience, but the main point is realizing that that's only the transition. And if we don't get attached to those situations and those persons and things that we have, well, we'll be more happy, we'll be more loving, and we will start to getting in tune with that inner energy that we have. So numerology, for instance, can give you that information, and the information will help you. But there's a tool, and like any other tool, you just need to use it. learn how to use it. The thing is that usually when we have a knowledge about some things, we don't want a lot to go in with that, because we start to see that if we have this information, we need to be more responsible with those things that we're doing. So that's consciousness, part of consciousness.
And what got you into even studying the tool of numerology?
Well, if I can share this, it's interesting. When I was 8 years old, my father sit me next to him, and he brought a book, and he started to reading some numbers for me, and I was like, what is this that you're doing, right? And then I thought, well, he knows me already, so that's why he's saying these things to me, But then my father is a doctor, and I was like sitting next to him one time in the future, and he was with a patient, and the patient was starting to speak about his life and the situations. He was getting divorced, so he was like getting into some difficulties, and he started to share things with this numerology chart. So when I saw that, and this person was like amazed because of the words that he was saying, I just went into that book again, and I started like reading more and sharing with my father. And then I studied like more professional way in the future, and it became one part of my life. I think it's very important to know at least that we are numbers at the end, We have a passport, and there's a number. Our ID, it's a number. We have mobile phone number. And, if we can resume everything around us, are numbers. And it's very interesting to understand that sometimes the numbers are talking to us. And if we get in tune with that energy, we will have more information about what to do, why is this happening to me, and what are the things that we can learn from the experiences that we're having, and not just complain about the things that we have.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that that's a good way of looking at it for people that might be they don't know much about numerology, or they say, oh, well, how can numbers be anything or tell me anything, right? It's numbers. But when you break down everything, if you look at on, a scientific level of just even structures and molecules and the way the geometric shapes or the sequences that are in flowers and stuff, everything's a mathematic ratio. Right?
Yes.
And so there's a ratio to be said, even the spacing between the planets and the spacing between the stars, right? There's this mathematic, very specific ratio that goes on in everything in our universe. Exactly. And so if that's the case, then it makes sense on some fundamental level that if we can be deciphered down into also numbers, that there could be some kind of correlation. And then the more that we get into the land in the world of computers, all code is just ones and zeros, right? So it's like, and then how many zeros go between, how many ones go in the space in between, but it all gets deciphered down to that. And so why wouldn't we be like that? That's why we could create something like that. It came out of our consciousness, because maybe on some level that is the fundamental level of the fabric of who we are. Right?
Exactly. Like you say, I mean, the world is a mathematic place. We have this connection with geometry, mathematics, and we connect with our tools like emotions and thoughts, feelings, and we go and express them, but always it will get a code, and the other person will understand that code inside. So the Vedic knowledge talk about numerology. The Chinese talk about this. And Pythagoras, when he was like teaching all his mathematics knowledge, he started to learn more about this. And he brought like the new numerology information. And it's like the modern numerology come from him. And he just look around of all the students and start to seeing the different characteristics that they had, right? So some of them were very joyful, some of them were very stressed, and he started to learn more about their dates and how we can connect with that. So with just your date, you can find out 5 different tools that can help you through the situations that you're living, and usually to understand more yourself and how you get sometimes with some kind of mood, and then you just see attract people that had some information too, and they just push you or whatever, like things that happen to you when you are like learning this, you start to see in a deeper way, and that can help you to understand more the life that you're having.
Okay. And so understanding, and it does this in different functions from what I only know such a little bit. You're the expert here. So, I know that there's like your personal life year cycle, and then there's like the bigger cycle of like what is like the country's going through or your state or whatnot. And like you can organize it down by that, but then there can even be right in a foundation like the days and different things like that. Is that correct?
Yes. Well, we have like I say, first, like the simple way to go in numerology is just to learn that in our date, our birthday, we have 5 numbers, and that's the essence, which means the things that we hide usually, like the essence of your soul that is brought to this body. The second part is the personality. So it's the things that we want to share, how we dress, how we talk, how we act, everything that we want just to share to the people. Then the third part is the gift that we have when we like, I don't know if you saw this last movie called Soul, which is
I haven't seen it yet. The cartoon one?
Yeah, the cartoon one.
I need to see it.
Yeah, see it, because there's a part when the little souls are looking for different jobs to do in the life, They are going to revert. So they are looking like, I would like to have a sports, or I would like to just ride or whatever. So they are like looking for this. So these are our gifts. Before we rebirth, we had this opportunity to choose what we wanted to learn more. So when I saw that movie and I knew about numerology, I was like, really? Somebody learned something about this and put it in there, right? So it was interesting for me to see that. And then the fourth part is the karmic, meaning the past life. What did you fulfill in their past life? And then at the end, we find out our mission, which means the things that we need to fulfill in this time so we can continue evolving. So that's like the simple way to go into that. Then,
so with your birthday, you can discover all of these 5 different ways by calculating the numbers and getting what the numbers kind of go down to, right?
Yeah, exactly. Something like that.
But there's different equations for each one of these different understandings of the self, for use of a better term. Yeah.
If you want, we can go through this like with your date if you want.
Okay, and then maybe somebody that's listening, they can go through it and then, whatnot.
Exactly. So if you want, let me share with me your birthday, starting with the day, the month. Yes.
The day first. See, that's interesting. Like people, because I think most people would start with the month first and not that. So I just learned something. So it's the 12th.
12th. And then the month?
10.
10. It's October, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the year?
1984.
Okay, 1984. Okay, so I will start with the essence, remembering that it's the part that you have behind, and that's come from a 12, which is a 3. Okay. You always plus the numbers in this first equation. There's another equations when you rest the numbers, okay? So this one will be 3, and for you, like the essence, it means that you're a person that always want to share, you're creative, you have a lot of intuition, you have a lot of ideas, because the number three is always connecting with this trinity, the energy, the mind, spirit, and soul, and the body. And in that situation, it's always like you are like very expressing yourself a lot and explaining everything that you want. You love to talk. You love to argue also and have a lot of ideas. And in the opposite side, because every number has two faces.
Two sides of it.
Yeah, two sides. So there's a lot of drama. There's a lot of situations that you get involved into, or you attract people with drama, or sometimes you get into drama, or you just exaggerate everything. So this three is a perfect communication person, right? So for instance, I think you most of the time you like to share things. You speak very fluid with your life, or you can explain things very easily, and people sometimes get in tune with that. But also the dramatic part is part of it. It's a step that you need to work more, because there's always something that you need to learn. So the challenges for you is like these new projects all the time. And when you're getting into that, sometimes you get and try to step back a little bit and just see, if I'm doing right this or not. And you sometimes doubt about yourself with that energy, because that's the essence. And always this tree is looking forward to put the ideas and bring more people with those ideas. So you want to get together with more people and let's do this, and all the excitement and energy. So you're like an artist. That's the name for this number. So
awesome.
Is that correct sometime?
Yeah, no, that's correct. And so does it go from the, tie in for other people too while you're doing mine? So it goes from 1 to 10, or from 1 to 9, or how does it go? It
goes from 1 till 9, and then the number 10, or the 0, that means that you can have all of them or none of them.
Okay.
So it's like we could say that it's a position that it can bring more energy from other numbers, or will not bring energy.
Okay,
so
and maybe not in as much detail, but you know how you chunked it down to an artist at number 3. Is there like one word or 2 words for each number that you could describe? So what's a number 1?
Number 1 will be a leadership, and also a person that just push the other persons down in the opposite. So in one position is great, and the other one just put it down.
It lowers people. And what about number 2?
Number 2 will be a person that want company all the time, that it's like putting together energy, the best couple. And also it will, in the opposite side, is attached to everything. So it brings a lot of attachment and doubts.
And so number 3, we already talked, is the artist.
Yes.
And what's the reverse of the artist, real quick, just in case?
Dramatic.
Dramatic. So artist with dramatic. Okay.
Yeah. Number 4 will be person with intelligence and order. And in the opposite side, no flexibility. So it's just like a person that is very tied with themselves.
Okay.
Number 5 will be a person that is liberate, with a lot of energy, with a lot of movement, with a lot of changing all the time. And the opposite side is a person that get involved into very dense energy, like drugs, sexuality, and things like very low, like pulling back to these addictions, we can say.
Okay.
And then in number 6 will be the person that is with the family. That's the positive. He is always willing to take care of others. And in the opposite side is a person that never feel that is in tune with other people. Like don't get along with anybody. So feel very lonely with this. And number 7, we'll go with number 7. The person, it's also a person that has a lot of connection with the spirituality. So we can say it's a more spiritual number. And then in the opposite side, it's a person that just wants to go alone and is very selfish.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we have the 8 number, which in the good position will be the best connection with spiritual in material world. So it's a person that is in balance between those two. And in the other side is a person that just with material things, just release everything and never get established or settle in a good way.
Okay.
And finally, number 9, it's a person that is connecting to serve others. There's always willing to give. And in the negative side, it's a person that just don't want to share anything. And it's like just very angry about life and controlling things and just like a manipulator person.
Mm-hmm. And then we did the number 10 or the 0 is all of it.
0 could be all of it, or it could be none of that. That depends a lot of the reading, because we will see that in the karmic number. So depending on the karmic, we will see how the things work for this person, particular person. So we can see if that in the past life, it fulfilled the things that they needed to do, or they just push it back.
And which number are you? You enjoying this so far? Did you forget to subscribe? Make sure to do so. It takes 2 seconds. Just press that little button, the red one. You know the one. Just press it, little like. All right, enjoy the rest of this content.
Well, all the numbers. We are different numbers. But,
but what are you?
Like I say, we have different numbers. My mission number is
the one that we're doing now, the first one.
The first one. I'm 2.
You're 2?
Yes, I'm 2. I'm 11 of December.
Okay.
Yeah, we had some common numbers here. I was reading it and I find out about the 3rd. I also have 3rd number, and this number 1 also. So, and you have 12, 212, which means 2-3 numbers in your chart. And that's a lot of drama and a lot of energy, a lot of creative in your side.
Oh, so I have three threes in my chart? Let's go through the next ones.
Yeah, you want to hear the other ones?
Might as well hear them.
Yeah, perfect. Well, the next number that is your personality, that's number 1 for you. And you are like very a strong person. I think people around you just see you and they just go back sometimes, and you can talk easily and you control around yourself and other persons. You're a leader, natural leader. So you have this energy. And you need to take care more humbleness, to don't push a lot of people, because sometimes you have the ideas already. Since you have a lot of knowledge in your mind, you want to do the things like very fast, and people is just like around you. No, wait, I can go forward with you. So sometimes it's like that. And then there's your number, the gift number is connecting with your essence, because that came from the 84, and 84, if you plus 8 and 4 will be 12, and also is repeating with your birth day. So that will bring another 3, and that increase the energy. When you have in your chart 2 same numbers, the energy just go up, up, up. So you all the time are creating. You have a creative mind all the time.
It never shuts up.
Yeah. You're like, you want to meditate, and then boom, ideas. And I want to do this and I want to do that. And I can share this. And you're always trying to share, and in a very artistic way. And then in that position, you have a 4. That's very interesting, because the 4 is your past life or your karmic life. Okay. And the 4 will mean a person that has a lot of intelligence and structure. So that means that in this life, or you are struggling, I'm not sure, with organizing things, ordering things.
Just a little bit. I think anybody at Liberate that works for me would say that I'm like, they like to describe me as Willy Wonka, that they're just picking up, like I kind of create tornadoes where I go, like the organization.
Really? So it's because of that, it's the karmic energy that is brought from past life. And now it's like trying to tell you, settle, stop here a little bit and try to organize everything. So start from the beginning at the end and do everything yourself. And then go to the next step.
So hard for me.
Yeah, I bet, because you have a lot of energy just to move around,
Yeah, so then bump, 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 and then I've never,
You just never end with that, right? And then it's very interesting because you see, you have an 8 number for your mission. And that 8 number, like I say, is like the infinite number. And that will means that you have a lot of intuition and connecting with the spiritual path, but also you have the ideas to bring that in the material world. So the money thing, the abundance in your life can be balanced if you connect more with this spiritual energy. Otherwise, you just move around all the time. And sometimes you bring a lot of energy, like abundance, material energy, and then just go flow and disappear away. And you're like, what? I had this money. Where is it? Things like that. So your mission in this life will be just to try to organize more, like I say, because 8, if you plus 4 and 4 will be 8, right? So you have to organize more the things that you really want and keep in balance all the ideas that you have, and just to broaden the ideas that you think that will bring more abundance to your life. Because sometimes you bring a lot of ideas and they just bring you drama.
Yeah. No. So true. For those that are listening, that like this is our first time meeting. So, this is amazing. I mean, one of the things that I can get out of this, that I hope for those that are listening, they can calculate and figure out some of their numbers and see where this is for them. But and re-reference and rewind and go back to look at each of the different numbers again and what the meanings are. But it's so on point, right? It's almost like you're telling me more intimate things about me and my blocks and my problems, and as well as my gifts, than most people don't know, right? And this is our first meeting. So, yeah. But now how do you use this to achieve balance in your life? Because that's one of the topics. So, so now I have this understanding that I'm always creating, and I'm also very susceptible to drama with the creating. And I'm sure those people that know me are probably laughing. And then, that I can materialize, and that it has to be balanced with spiritual. And when it's not, money just goes, and that happens. And then the leadership one that you said, that I can be a really strong leader, but then also can have the tendency to sometimes put people down. So, I mean, all of these things are really clear understandings, but then how do I achieve balance with that knowledge? Like, how do you take it from just knowing this knowledge and then taking this as information to make it a tool to help empower you to better your life?
Yes, well, like all the knowledge that we can learn from this is information that we just will have more conscious in our mind. So for the next situation that we will have, for instance, now that you're like learning this and you are like thinking more about this and you have it in your mind already. And next time that you receive money, you will see, oh, okay, I have the money now. Oh, I remember that I figured out about this. Okay, what I could do, just start developing your intuition. That's what the numerology do, like give you the information, but then you start to develop the intuition that will bring to you more fulfilled experiences about some things that are happening. Because it wouldn't work if you just have the idea of, oh, I'm dramatic and that's the way I am and that's it, But when you say, oh, I'm dramatic and now I'm having an episode of dramatic energy, oh, I remember that. So it's my choice now. I can choose to go with that, or I can stop it and just to see why is happening this to me, and go to the opposite. So it's very interesting, and it's a challenge, obviously, like for instance, for me, and like the relationships that I have, and all the environment that I'm around. Sometimes I read this together and see, well, we will get along with this, but then we will have issues in this, So we already know, and we don't get into the emotions. So balancing your life is always like a challenge. And like I always say, we can't like balance everything, because trying to balance everything will be getting control. And, when we want to have control, we suffer, because the controlling part is not possible. We need to let the universe move around the energy. So balancing the energy, or balancing yourself and your life, will mean just to flow more conscious with the situations, and be like very intelligent to know what to do, how to act, and how to relate with the universe.
So it's kind of, to like simplify it a little bit, it's understanding and preparing in a way for, like, if you know that it's going to be a rainstorm out, you may want to bring an umbrella. But to try to control it so much that not a drop of water is going to get on you would create the misery. But if you can allow yourself to prepare and say, okay, well, this is what I'm swimming in. This is the energy of what is my vibration. And so I can prepare a little bit for it and understand it. But then I also have to trust that with the umbrella, might take out 90% of the water, but I might still get wet.
Exactly. Yeah, I love the example that you did. Thank you for sharing that, because it's just like that, And it's very interesting that we can have the opportunity to learn about ourselves, and also why we attract people around us with some energy that it's always pushing us to change, to improve, to be better in our life. And sometimes they are not the best situations, obviously, but even so, they are at the end looking for you to evolve. So I think that's the most important of this knowledge of numerology. Otherwise, you just want always to control things. That's why we learn things. We learn to develop an idea, and then we learn to play an instrument, and we just want to have control of things. Yeah. But at the end, if we try to control, we suffer. So we just need to learn things and let the intuition guide you to just enjoy the process.
Because you'll never be able to plan or control everything the way that you want it, right?
Never.
I like to give that to people. It's like, I don't think, one of the things that people plan for their most in their life is like a wedding, right? Yeah. Does it ever go is? Sometimes people will plan for a whole year for a wedding, That's true. And so much detail, so much planning, so much goes in. And there's always something that goes crazy, right? And it's like, but if you were so attached that it had to go the way that you envisioned in your mind, you would never be happy, because your expectation will never be met, right?
That's true.
But you can still have plans to aim you in the right direction. I mean, if you don't plan to get a photographer, you're never going to have pictures, but,
That's true. It's very interesting. I love the topic that you're telling now, because if I may say, I'm a minister. So last week I was in a wedding, and it happened just the thing that you say. The person, the girl, was like very excited about this wedding, and the husband was like just relaxed about it. But she was planning this from 1.5 years ago, right?
So more than a year,
yeah,
a year and a half.
1.5 years. No, just 1 year, like you say, but imagine that. So she was like trying to put together everything. And at the end, we start the wedding, and then it was like sunny day, perfect weather. It was just beautiful. And then suddenly, like the clouds start coming out, no rain, but it started to get chill, like so cold. So people were start like shaking because we were inside of a forest. Imagine that. It's so no light in between. And then the dog, they wanted to have the dog in the wedding, bringing the rings, you know? so the dog started to like yell, you know? So it was like a crazy moment. And she was like getting into this angry energy because she wasn't getting out of control of that. And I remember that we just, her husband and I just saw her and say, relax, everything is going to be okay. And she was like, okay. She started crying in the middle of the wedding. And then at the end, she was like, just breathe a little bit. And then the clouds go away and start again. The sun came. And it was like a situation that happened just suddenly. But like you say, we usually want to control all the things that are happening. And sometimes we just need to laugh about the things that are happening, because if we don't laugh about it, we just get too attached.
Well, we get too attached, and then we also don't leave room for the magic, or, you know, in our narrow perceptions from our narrow experiences, we can only plan a certain way.
Yes.
But how do we know that there's not something better, or that there's a valuable lesson to learn from that that's going to allow us to move forward, right? You know?
Yeah, that's true. And I think usually when we have this connection with intuition, we can start seeing more clear all the situations that we live, right?
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And so when people use like numerology, and they get a better understanding of their self. And I'm tying this back to one of the first statements that you said in this podcast, is that, you know, it's really about getting back in touch with you, right? You know, it's like going on all of the searching outwards just to find yourself inward, right? And allow that evolution to exist. And so this is almost like a mirror reflecting back to you and helping you see yourself better, so that you can be yourself, and so that you can find yourself faster and allow for even more to be learned from that perspective, right?
Yes, like you say, in a simple way, it's just a mirror. When we see ourselves there, we start to developing more ideas, and then we start to attract different energies in our environment. That's very important about this numerology. When you realize that, it's like you put in some energy in your thoughts. The brain start through the cells bringing some vibration, different vibration, and that will express to the universe, to your universe. And that will start attract more energy in the similar level that you are now. Otherwise, it's like, for instance, if we are complaining a lot about something, usually we get a lot of that more. Yeah. And we're like, why? Yeah, I don't like this. And why is happening to me? And then come more and more and more. And you're like, and then I'm just in this hole, you know? But the thing is that you can change that energy and change that vibration and bring more tune energy with you and the things that you really want. So you start to attract different experiences that have more of lifting that in the other time, you know, because you weren't conscious about this information.
I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Is there anything else that you want to share before we wrap up today?
Yes, well, I will love to share that always try to go into the knowledge about numerology or whatever path you're choosing to understand more about yourself, but don't get attached to it. You know, I've been I grew up with a spiritual environment, you know, so since I was a little kid, I saw yoga and meditation and a lot of topics and readings. And then when I grew up and I start like relating with more people, I thought that life was just spirituality, because in home we were talking about this all the time, right? But then I realized it's not. And I see the balance in that. And that was nice because you could see that there's 2 points of view always. And when we get attached to something, even in this spiritual knowledge, we just forget that we're living also, and we have emotions and needs that we need to have in this world to evolve. So the final idea is just to remember that, and that everything that you do, put your intuition in front always, and try at least every day to connect with your intuition. You just need to take a few minutes to just see yourself, see how was your life during the day, how do you act, if you had a conflict or not, how the words are we using usually, and to see in a clear way and unattached way how you are. And in that situation, you just feel more relaxed and go to bed, relax, and enjoy the time that you're sleeping, not trying to remember what you need to do tomorrow and why complaining you didn't do other things in the past. Just be, in the present with the energy to see the future, right?
Yeah, because it's always going to be, in the future, you can always think about it. You just got to be. I love that. Yes. Where can people find you, Krishna?
Well, they can go online, and then there's a page that is www.krishnacamargo.com. Okay. And then through that, the social media and all this web, you can see the things that I like to share. And yeah, we can talk there. Thank you.
Oh, that's awesome. We'll link everything down below for you. And yeah, I hope that people can connect and, maybe get into their numerology with you and some of all the other things that you do and you provide on a naturopathic. And if somebody wants to get married too, you can provide that.
Oh yeah, I love those. If you can have a minute for this, because when people are getting married, they are just like always wondering, how we're gonna get along, right? And when I do the numerology for a couple, they just go, now I know why is like this guy or this person, So it's a very important tool for couples to understand more themselves.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. It was really insightful. I learned a lot more about myself and had that mirror shine on, and everybody that's watching now learned a lot more about me, and hopefully they will take the initiative to learn a little bit more about their self too. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. Thank you. And I hope I can see you in person sometime pretty soon.
Yes, absolutely. Next time you're visiting, for sure.
Thanks.
Thanks for joining us. If you enjoyed this conversation, please like it, subscribe, and share it with your friends. If you want to hear more about what we have going on and happening online or in the neighborhood, check out liberateyourself.com and sign up for our mailing list. Also, follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Liberate Yourself. It's YouRself, URSELF. Until next time, be powerful, be magical, and be free.
Okay, well, my name is Rebecca.
Hi, I'm Reverend Doreen.
Hi, my name's Travis.
My name's Kimberly.
My name is Lily, and I'm an energy healer at Liberate Hollywood.
I really believe that everything is transmutable and everything is possible. I believe that we are swimming in a sea of energy, and that this energy is love, even though I know a lot of the time it doesn't always feel like that.
And I do pranic healing, which is energy. I'm a Reiki master, more energy. So what am I? I am a channel for energy to come through me to help you.
There really isn't anything that you would need to do to prepare for a session other than be comfortable. The whole goal of the session is to provide you with a warm, comforting, soul and heart-centered environment from which to allow healing to occur.
No, just come as you are. Always just come as you are. That's my job as a healer, to meet you where you are, to figure out what you need, and to give that to you, or to guide you also. I'm so honored to be a guide in helping you to connect.
To help re-energize you, heal you, change your programming so that you're no longer in your way of getting to things that you desire in your life.
My objective working with clients, I guess, would be to help them connect to their divine self. so that they can facilitate their spiritual journey and their soul's path.
In all forms of energy healing, regardless of what the practitioner says, it is up to the client to change their life. As a practitioner, we're serving as a channel or as an instrument for God to do the work, but it is up to the client to make better choices.
I'm most passionate, I think, about being able to create a loving, supportive, and heart and soul-centered environment for clients to heal.
I get really excited when I have a new client who's never experienced energy work before, and they tend to say that they were drawn or magnetized into the store, and they don't exactly know why or what for. And it's an opportunity to introduce them to the divine. And I think it's a really beautiful thing to have that moment of awareness and that they're in that space of surrender because they don't have any expectations. And they really get to see what it feels like to be a spiritual being.
And once you activate that place within yourself, it's powerful and it feels so good. It's very healthy for the body. I think it realigns all of your energy. It connects you to source, both within you and outside of you. It's really cool.
It's such an honor and a privilege to be in the space where a moment happens and people have this awareness about who they are, or they're able to grieve over something they may not have been able to before, or they are able to see themselves for who they truly are in a more empowered and soul-centered way.
But I'm trying to give you the tools so that when you leave, you feel connected.
Come with an open mind, come with humor in your heart, and we'll get you on the right path for you.
You'll learn more about yourself, you'll let go of things that might be holding you back in your life, and you'll feel more empowered about your decisions. I hope to see you soon.
So expect change, radical change. I laugh, but it's true.
Thank you. And I wish you love, peace, and higher consciousness.